Welcome back to the course vlog, guys. We are still out here in Singapore and today we're playing the beautiful Orchid Golf and Country Club's Dendro 9. So we're going to be playing this course at 2,871 meters, which is right around 3,200 yards. It's going to be a fun day. We're starting off with a par 5, so let's get started. So no chance of going for this green in 2 for me here. We've still got about 301 yards and it's still quite a distance away to those bunkers that you can see out there. So I'm just hitting all the club that I've got in my bag, hitting a 4-wood here, getting it as far down as I possibly can. So I cut that a bit chunky, did not have the best context, so I still have a little bit of a distance here. The pin today is located behind this bunker. It's playing 120 to the pin, so I'm trying to carry it all the way there. It's still early in the morning, so there's still quite a lot of dew and condensation in the air, so the ball's not flying as far. So I'm going for 9 iron here, almost hitting a full shot, making sure that if anything I go past the pin, because obviously short means bunker. So as you could tell, my partner was very excited about my approach shot there, so I stuck it pretty close, gave myself a good look at birdie here on the first hole. Let's see if we can roll this one in.
Wow, good birdie. What a start.
Nice way to start the day. Next up we have hole 2, which is a par 4. It's pretty short, only playing around 300 meters. So for this hole, there's a bunker down the right side. You can see a lone palm tree right in the center. It's pretty skinny one. That's kind of my target here. It is a bit of a dog leg left hole, so we do kind of want to favor the left side of this fairway. Anywhere around that palm tree should leave you in a good position. After the tee shot, I left myself on the fairway. I've got about 100 yards here. So the pin is located all the way behind here. So we really want to avoid going past that pin. I couldn't really tell what this green was doing in terms of its contour, obviously, because it's my first time playing here. But I knew that with a back pin, I would want to favor being more centered towards back. And I've also been given advice that this green is pretty hard. So I was trying to hit this right around 95 yards here. So you can see the pin was tucked pretty far back, so if you had carried anywhere towards the pin, there was a big chance you were going to go over the green, and past the green there's a huge slope there, which is not an ideal place to chip because you're going to be really short-siding yourself. The greens here are pretty hard, so it's also very difficult if you have to hit a flop shot because you're not going to have much room to land. So if the pin is behind on this hole, you most definitely want to favor hitting it center. If anything, being short of the pin is completely fine, giving yourself an uphill putt rather than having to chip from the back of the green. So no harm down there, a par on the second hole. Moving on to the third hole, which is a par 5. So on this hole, there are bunkers on both the right and the left side. However, the ones on the right side aren't really in play, and there is an OB down the left side that comes pretty close to the fairway. So if anything, I would most definitely recommend favoring the right side of this fairway. There's pretty much nothing down the right side, especially if you can carry that bunker. Also, it's playing pretty long with this condition, so I felt like it was going to be a layup hole for me anyway. So just favoring the right side of this fairway. So like I said, this is not a hole that I'm going to be able to two on, so I'm just hitting my layup shot here. I kind of figured that with the substantial uphill on this hole, even a 4-wood won't get me to an awkward distance such as for instance a 40-yard chip. So I decided to just hit my 4-wood here and try to get it down as far as possible, get myself a shorter club into this green. After that, I left myself with 63 yards, which is a distance that I'm quite comfortable with. It was playing closer to 65 with the slope. For a par 5 where you're not going to be able to hit it in 2, you don't necessarily have to hit as much club as you possibly have. For instance, on this hole, if a club that I'm comfortable with is something like a 90-yard shot, I could always lay it up to that distance. Like I said though, I am comfortable with a shot around this distance, so that's why for me I decided to go with a 4-wood. Next up, we have a par 3 playing 135 or 138 with the slope. As you can see, tons of bunkers in front. So what we really want to make sure is that we have our distance right. I'm playing a club that regularly goes about 140. Just because we're not always going to hit solid shots, especially in wet conditions, if anything, the tendency is to hit it a little bit shorter. And as we can see here, there's nothing past the pin, but there's a ton of different things that could happen if you hit it short. So obviously we want to favor being past this pin. Worst to worst, you're going to have a downhill putt. The following hole is an interesting par 4. There are bunkers down the right and the left side of this fairway. The bunker down the left side is pretty far to carry it. It's about 250 yards from my tee box, whereas the bunker down the right side is about 230. So for me, I obviously want to favor the right side of this fairway. But as you can see, there's also trees down the right side, so you need to make sure that you keep it left side of those trees, but right side of this fairway. So it's definitely a pretty tricky tee shot. As you can see beforehand, I was using my rangefinder to shoot and find out all this information, which is super important and something that I feel like a lot of people tend to forget to do. Knowing this information before you hit the shot helps give you the confidence to know that you've chosen the right target, which helps you execute the shot better. So another reason why I said we needed to favor the right side of these fairways, I think you can clearly see from here that everything kicks towards the water. So even if you hit towards the right side of the fairway just now, because I'm not able to carry that left bunker, there is a chance that my ball is going to kick left and still end up in that left bunker. So even though I hit a little bit of a cut shot and ended up just in this rough, it is a much better position. As you can see, I have a clear angle to the pit.
Okay.
So I thought that I had compensated enough for my lie that I had. Obviously the ball was above my feet and I was also in the rough, which was both going to cause the ball to draw, but clearly I did not. My ball is still hanging on by the edge there, so it's completely fine. There is a bit of room there. The water hazard is not that close, but the pin was also tucked left, so obviously there was much more room right of the pin, so I could have definitely aimed much more right. But anyway, we are still safe and clear, so we are going to try to chip this as close as possible. Let's not make this hole any more difficult. Moving on to the following hole, which is another par 5. This par 5 is a shorter one. It's 465 yards. I'm not familiar with the golf course, so I didn't know what it looked like past those bunkers, but I definitely should not have been hitting a driver here. I could have just hit my 3-wood and carried those left bunkers and left myself in a much better position. But from the look of this tee box and from where I was standing, it looked like I could hit towards the right side in between those bunkers and have a lot of room. Little did I know that there was a bunker and water hazard there, so I would definitely not recommend hitting a driver here. I also hit a weak fade, which did not help, but that did not put me in a great position because that ended up leaving me in the bunker. So also I was pretty close to the edge here. I had about 230 yards to the pin, but I knew that I needed enough height to get this past this lip in front of me. I didn't want to get too cute. It is a par 5. I'm not going for the green, but I know that with my hybrid I can get quite a bit of height, especially right as it takes off. I need to make sure that this club has enough height, which means that I need to hit a little bit of sand. So a lot of times when people see bunker shots, they try to completely thin it. So for situations like this where there's a high lip in front of me, that's obviously not going to work because if I thin this, it was going to go straight into that bunk. So the other option would have been to use the higher lofted club such as an 8 or 7 iron just to get myself out there and completely take it out of play. So I'm not sure if you could tell what happened with my approach shot, but the wind basically started picking up and I just did not feel like I had the right club for the situation. So I ended up going back to change and add a club. So in any situation, if you're not comfortable, obviously it makes it easier when the golf cart is allowed on the golf course because then the golf carts and all your clubs are right next to you. But I know that it's very difficult to sometimes step off and change your club, especially when you've already gone through your routine and you're already ready to hit the ball. But there's a high chance that if I did not change my club, I will most likely not be having this birdie putt right now.
Nice birdie.
So I think that one of the big things that I wanted to point it out about the shot in the previous hole and how I talked about changing the clubs is basically it all comes down to discipline. Going through your pre-shot routine is discipline. Choosing a target at every single hole and committing to that target is discipline. Making sure that you have the right club, and if you don't have the right club, making sure you go and change to the right club is discipline. We always talk about how golf teaches us a lot of life lessons, and discipline is most definitely one of them. Discipline could also be one of the factors that's preventing you from breaking 90, breaking 80, breaking 70. So I think it's super important to be a disciplined golfer. So even though I didn't hit a great tee shot, I favored the right side of the fairway, which is the wider side of the fairway. I think you can see that everything kicks towards the left on this hole. I'm trying to learn that lesson from the previous hole where I had a similar situation where my ball was in the rough and the ball was above my feet. So I'm trying to make sure that I compensate enough for the draw that's about to happen because obviously with this lie, everything is going to make the ball go left.
Steady, partner. Hey, come back.
Next up we have hole 8, which is a par 3. The pin is located on the left side today and it looked to me like there was a huge slope in the center of the green that was going to kick everything left. So I was trying to aim towards the left side of those furry pine trees, I would assume. I'm not really sure what they're called, but those palm trees at the back there, aiming towards the left side and trying to get the slope to kick it further left because it looked like everything was going to kick left. Unfortunately, it didn't do what I was expecting it to do. I just went a little bit too far right. The ball did not draw like I expected it to. So I was left with this bunker shot here.
Okay, sorry. Got your opponent. Let's go.
So I think the only way that bunker shot could have gone better is if it actually went in the hole. So definitely no complaining there, and I'll most definitely take a par on this hole. So we've reached the last hole on this 9. It's a pretty short par 4, straight uphill, quite substantially uphill actually, so I definitely did not have a chance to get to the green. I can carry the bunker on the right side though, so that's a bonus because I don't have to worry about that. My aim here was just towards the left side of that right bunker, hoping that I give myself some kind of full shot into this green.
Nice. Okay. Good mate. Pin to win.
So I hit an okay shot, but it kind of left me in an awkward position. I'm kind of in the middle of this uphill lie. So the reason why I said just now I wanted a full shot in is because it is a front pin, so it's a bit harder to hit those awkward shots in when you have a front pin because you don't have much room to work with short of the pin. Unfortunately, this is not a full shot for me, but I felt that maybe with the uphill lie, because the ball was going to come out higher, that I could just hit my 58-degree wedge and aim to get around 75 yards, hoping that it would leave me somewhere close to the pin. So as you can see here, my ball ended up going quite a bit further than I expected it to, but we're still left on the green with a birdie putt. While I line up this birdie putt, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more golf with Jen, and I look forward to catching you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching all the way to the end if you did, and I'll see you in the next course vlog, which is going to be the Aranda 9 here at Orchid Golf and Country Club.